Hello there, Biaka desu and welcome to my review of Stray. It's starting to become a pattern, me trying to dress up in a thematic kind of way just to try to match the game's theme. Well, let's just go above that. So, Stray was a game I was really looking forward to playing because it was an indie game that blew up and everyone was trying to get their hands on the game, saying that it was a wonderful experience, a very well done game, and I was like, but why? I mean, I do get it. You take the role of a cat, but what's more to the game? And people were always talking about how cute it was being a cat, doing your usual cat shenanigans, just throwing things out of counters and ledges, purring and all that stuff. And I was like, but what's the story? Because even though I want to be on the place, more than being in the place of the cat, I want to have a cat. So what has the game for me? And I thought it was the story. And that's one of the main focus of my review today. It's the story. So I went basically, even though everyone was talking about the game, I went in basically blind because nobody would talk about the story. And you understand that you're in this future dystopic world where basically mankind has been killed. Well, mankind is extinct probably due to their own errors, such as pollution, because that's something that is mentioned throughout the game, that the humans were no longer able to live in certain areas because there was no water for them to drink, no air for them to breathe. So it's kind of a mystery how the hell cats survived, because they are really the only animals that we see, but they work, as far as we know, unless these cats have evolved, they work or they need the same basic stuff as humans. So it's kind of a mystery how the hell they got food, water and all those stuff when supposedly mankind wasn't able to get them. But I mean, cats are resourceful, so let's go with that. And you basically have now entire cities of robots. So these robots were created by the humans to probably work in their place, try to get resources and all other stuff, and also to be companions, helpers, all those things. And you actually interact. These robots have very advanced AI. You basically interact with them more or less like you would with a human. It's actually really funny because as you throw stuff around or you purr around the robot, it's interesting seeing the different reactions on their monitors, because the monitors make pop up the emotions that they are feeling, like they are surprised, they are kind of angry, or they are just endeared by the cute cat. They don't really know what that cat is, they don't really recognize the animal, but the purring is cute. I mean, we can all agree that purring is universally cute. And you basically explore let's say a limited city, but you are able to see different environments, different places, like small towns that you are able to explore as you go through the game. So your main objective in this game is to open the dome that covers the city, because a lot of robots wish to see what's outside. Some of them fear what's outside because they know it was harmful to the humans. You have this notion that they don't really know what's good for them or not, because all the information and knowledge that they have are according to what the humans taught them or programmed them to know. And some want the dome to open so they can be free. Others don't want it to happen because they fear what's outside, that they are going to be destroyed. And then you have these little creatures that I actually forgot the name. Was their name Zork? I don't remember. They have this kind of alien name, and they were actually also created by the humans, but they grew out of control. So they were supposed to, that's why I say that the human's extinction was derived from pollution, they were created to basically dissolve any kind of human waste. So not only would they decompose faster biodegradable stuff, they would also eat up even metal. So machines that no longer worked and were going to the trash, they would be able to dissolve them. But of course, as every human experiment or invention that is genius, it grew out of control. So you have now an entity that is not controllable, so there's no way of controlling it, because apparently they decided to make it like you do your stuff, you know, whatever, don't bug us. And you have this creature, because it seems more or less alive, that consumes everything in its way and grows without any control. So there's thousands of them just everywhere. The only weakness they have, and you are later equipped with a weapon to destroy them, but it's also limited, is UV light. And you also have this little robot. The robot was so cute, the robot and the cat. The cuteness level of this game is over the charts. You also have this robot that is basically guiding you to do all the stuff that is needed to do in order to open the city. Later on, and this is, I mean, I don't know why I bother. You always have spoilers on my reviews, you don't need me to warn you. Later on, you find out that that robot is actually what can be the last human consciousness that exists. So the scientist decided to transform his consciousness into data so he could put it into a robot, and he actually succeeded. He was basically dormant for, I think, a few years. I would dare say a century. I don't remember exactly how many years, at least a century, I think. He is actually by accident woken up by the cat that you are controlling, and he also aids you, and he, as you go on, you are also, one of the mechanics of the game is watching murals and collecting information and getting memories, and he starts to remember. It's actually a very touching, deep, emotional moment where he remembers his human life, how he had a family, how everything that he was doing was for them, and he actually has like this existential crisis where he's like, if everyone I loved is dead and I don't even have a human body, what is the point of me doing all this now? And it's really interesting, actually. So the game has a lot of different stuff. It's really interesting to watch the interactions with the robots, between the robots. You also have different collectibles. One of my favorites, of course, was collecting the music sheet for the robot musician that you could find in the city. I actually almost succeeded in finding them all, and when I was revisiting the footage, I noticed that I went by the music sheet that I was missing and I didn't notice it. The pain. But it was really interesting to see her playing. She was playing in a very out of tune, makeshift guitar, 4-stringed instrument, I don't know. But it was, although it sounded out of tune, I think it was meant to be so, and it was fun nonetheless. I really enjoyed collecting the music sheet and giving to them. And you have, I never thought I would feel so touched. Well, I mean, it's a game with an animal, so of course that would happen. But I never thought I would connect with the story, because the story is not really complicated and it's not really innovative. But it is really well done in terms of storytelling, and you can connect with it and actually feel like it's a huge loss when the little robot with the human consciousness ends up sacrificing itself, because the consciousness will disappear forever if the robot is destroyed, and he basically sacrifices his consciousness so he can activate the dome that surrounds the city and free everyone. And of course, in doing so, he also kills the little creatures that are allergic, that are destroyed by UV light. which is a bonus. So now they are safe from those pests. It was really stressful. I never thought, there were some people that were saying, oh, you know, this game seems cute, but it has some horror vibes. I do agree. I won't say it has a horror vibe, but you have these really dark tunnels, underground tunnels, and these creatures pop up from anywhere and they pursue you relentlessly. And when they are on top of you and you have to press to get rid of them, and then the cat dies, it's so stressful. It's so really well done. The stress that you feel, I mean, there are few horror games where I felt so much stress. I mean, one of the mechanics I've said is that I most hate, in the sense that it makes me nervous and stressful, is being chased. And those chases, Jesus, really well done, really stressful. It was amazing. The mechanics in themselves, I mean, you can do some scanning to identify stuff, you use the robot to get access to places, you crawl through really tiny holes with the cat, so you have the mechanics of playing with both a robot, like a small hacking machine. He also works as a translator because the robots don't really speak. So the only way you can understand the robots and the robots understand you is through that little robot. It was an amazing experience and I would really recommend it. The game is now a little bit expensive. I think it was less expensive when it came out. They did a lot of promotions, but I don't know what is the trend nowadays. I feel like the games are getting more expensive. And the game right now, I don't know if it's worth the price that is right now. With a promotion, I would say, you know, just go for it, because it's a very linear story. It takes few hours to complete. I did this in like 6 to 8 hours, I think. But it's a really good story and a really wonderful experience, and I do recommend it. So share here if you want to share any thoughts. I enjoyed the music. It's not really mind-blowing or really one of those tracks that I'm gonna really memorize, but it was still enjoyable and adequate in its own sense. I don't have any critiques or any praises over the top to give. And I think the game is just I would love to see any more, not a continuation of the story, but I would love to see more of these kinds of games in the future. So I'm looking forward to what the studio may create next. So thank you so much. I hope you have enjoyed this review. If you have other stuff that you would like to highlight, please share in the comments down below. And of course, if you like the content that I make, please like this video. Check out my Twitch channel for all the up-to-date gaming content that I'm making, and I hope to see you next time in my other reviews. So thank you so much, and may music always be your life force.